Welcome to the Simply Financial Podcast. I'm your host, Christopher Calandra. Want to increase your financial IQ with today's episode, which is a review of the recent Federal Reserve meeting. As I've talked about consistently on the show for well over a year, inflation is the central issue impacting the economy and by extension having a tremendous impact on the markets. So as of this recording, the markets have enjoyed a very strong rebound year. This after last year, 2022, being a bear market year, rough year for investors. This has been a bounce back year. And the Fed, recognizing that inflation has come down a lot and faster than a lot of people predicted last year, have put a pause on raising interest rates. They raised interest rates a lot. They went really fast, the most aggressive interest rate policy the Federal Reserve has ever done. But they have not raised rates in about 4 months. They're not going to raise rates at the earliest in January of 2024, I should say February of 2024, which will be 6 months. The likelihood, though, is that the Fed is done raising interest rates. They are most likely to let things play out, to allow the interest rate hikes they did make, the numerous ones they did make, to fully work themselves through the economy. Inflation, as I said, has come down. It's still higher than they would like in that 3.5% or so range. They want to get it into or close to 2%. I think they feel as though it'll be able to get there as their interest rate hikes that happened previously work their way through the system. So they're in pause mode. This pause mode has helped the market, especially recently, really pick up steam on the upside. There's tremendous optimism about the Federal Reserve engineering a soft landing. I did an episode about this not too long ago titled Dreaming of a Soft Landing. A soft landing is when the Federal Reserve is able to get inflation under control, raise interest rates, obviously slow down the economy as part of that prescription. But the soft landing comes in where they don't do undue damage to the economy. Picture the soft landing like the delicate nature of landing a large plane and doing it safely. It seems like the Federal Reserve is in a position to engineer a soft landing. So that's caused tremendous optimism in the markets, especially recently. Additionally, it's important to note that the markets are forecasting that the Federal Reserve will begin lowering interest rates next year. Now, this is a subject of a lot of debate. Will they cut rates? Is debate topic one. Debate topic two is when will they do so? Some people are predicting as early as the first quarter of 24. That seems pretty aggressive, but I could see the argument in that. The consensus, though, is that beginning in the second quarter, the Federal Reserve will begin cutting interest rates. That would be a tremendous turn of events if it happens. And I think the likelihood, the probability is probably in favor of some rate cuts next year. A lot needs to be determined. I don't have a strong opinion on when or a strong opinion on how much. I've seen estimates that range from the Federal Reserve reducing interest rates by 1 percentage point, 1% decline. They're at 5 to 5.5% on the Fed funds rate now. So maybe that'll be in the 4 to 4.5% range. I've seen some estimates, which I think are pretty out there, that they'll cut rates as much as 2.75% next year. You would really need the economy, which has remained strong through all of this, the high inflation as well as the decline in inflation. The economy has been resilient, strong. We've avoided a recession. The labor market has been quite strong. To get a cut of that 2.75, you would really need the economy to experience real difficulties, a significant recession or significant fears of a recession. I think that's pretty unlikely. All this to say is that inflation's come down, still has a way to go, but the cycle of Federal Reserve interest rates, that aggressive policy, seems to have concluded. And now we're in this pause mode where they're not doing anything, and this will last for a period of time. We're not sure how much. The next most likely action by the Federal Reserve is to reduce interest rates. It's hard to say that because a year ago that would have seemed improbable. But this is where we find ourselves as we wrap up 2023 and look forward to 2024. I hope you found this information to be beneficial. This is some of the topics that we are discussing with our clients as we review their financial plans. If you have any questions about this, please reach out, email, go to the website, elliottwealth.com. You could access my schedule on the website, so please keep that in mind. Thanks for listening to today's episode. I'll be back with you on the next episode of the Simply Financial Podcast very soon. Thanks again.
The views expressed are not necessarily the opinion of Osaic Wealth, Inc., and should not be construed directly or indirectly as an offer to buy or sell any securities mentioned herein. Investing is subject to risks, including loss of principal invested. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. No strategy can assure a profit nor protect against loss. Please note that individual situations can vary. Therefore, the information should be relied upon when coordinated with individual professional advice. Please note, the information being provided is strictly as a courtesy. When you link to any of the websites provided here, you are leaving this website. We make no representation as to the completeness or accuracy of information provided at these websites. Nor is the company liable for any direct or indirect technical or system issues, or any consequences arising out of your access to or your use of third-party technologies, websites, information, and programs made available through this website. When you access one of these websites, you are leaving our website and assume total responsibility and risk for your use of the websites you are linking to. Securities and advisory services are offered through Osaic Wealth, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC. Insurance services offered through Elliott Wealth Management Services, LLC, not affiliated with Osaic Wealth, Inc.